And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in this late for our late night edition of Pipe Bomb. It is June 28th, 2016, and it is hot out there. But you know what's even hotter? Mysterious G's victory over the unknown last week. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a close one, but by 3 votes, Mysterious G took the lead. But this week, Mysterious G has his work cut out for him as we have King Carson going against a mysterious opponent in this week's edition of the tournament. But before we get into that, Chris, you have any words for us?
And ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for plugging me in during the intro. I am your co-host. I think I do a pretty good job here, but you did an awesome job. I'm going to plug Chris Conan in. Your favorite wrestler is in town. Ladies and gentlemen, Pipe Bomb Monday, Midnight Madness tournament. Hopefully I make Botchamanias for that. Midnight Madness tournament is heating up. The King Carson will go against an unknown opponent tonight. But ladies and gentlemen, even bigger news. This is Pipe Bomb. I have a very, very, very cool special edition that we're going to run live tonight like we always do, and it regards one of the most talked about names in our business, in our company, in Sky, AJ Hudson, Fredo Majors, whatever you want to call him. We're going to drop the pipe bomb on it tonight. We're going to unleash the news. But Mysterious G, more importantly, we're going to get to the tournament. We're going to see who goes up against Mysterious G tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, for reasons I won't say right now, King has a new opponent, and we're going to get to that guy. And I think Mysterious G needs to be more worried about that guy, because that's my guy that I'm hosting for tonight. But before we get into that, before we get into anything else, is there anything else you'd like to say before we start the show?
I want to say things are heating up in the chat. You know what I mean? I think Mysterious G's a little paranoid, but I mean, we'll get into that later. But if you would do the honors in introducing who King Carson's taking on.
No problem. And this guy, in my mind, is a Ross creation. If anybody knows what a Ross creation is, it's guys at iPop 4. All right? And what I mean that is guys that get over with the crowd. Guys that grab the imaginary brass ring. Guys that look good on camera. Guys like the one and only. This guy stole the hearts and soul and captured, which I think was the best season in XBW history. This guy is no other than DV1. Ladies and gentlemen, King Carson, DV1. It's the match we want to see. It's the match we don't want to see, but it's the match you're going to see because we have it for you here live tonight.
And again, I had my very notorious feuds with both these individuals. King Carson, in my opinion, being the most over guy. But, I mean, DV1 had a short-lived career. You know what I mean? His ear got chopped off, and it kind of put fear in his eyes. You know, it changed DV1. But he definitely was over with the crowd. He definitely had in his short time in XBW, he had a lot of memorable moments with us. But like I said, I wish he would come back one more season and prove to the world why he is the legend killer.
Absolutely, and there's different reasons why he calls himself the legend killer. That made him different. Yeah, he bit off Randy Orton. He bit off Triple H. But the things DV1 accomplished during that season of XBW, we looked at this kid like a flash in the pan. Like, he's going to die out sooner or later. But we looked at King like a flash in the pan. He's going to die out sooner or later. These two guys both had huge pops. Everybody popped for these guys. For some odd reason, they had it. I can't put a finger on the pulse. They just had it. And ladies and gentlemen, tonight, DV1's my guy. And King, if you think that you're going to fly by and just get to Mysterious G, this may be your toughest opponent yet to date. That being said, let me tell you why my guy is great. Before we do that, This show is called Pipe Bomb for a reason. Okay. We're going to drop a pipe bomb to let everybody know what makes this show different, what makes this show special. Just, you want to take the honors away.
Is this the part where I played that pipe bomb that was sent to us via
That would be pretty awesome right about now. I think this would be the perfect time, perfect place, and I call you on a pipe bomb. Drop it.
Let's play for the fans.
Coming down there from the Broken Skull Ranch, no Cold Steve Austin here, my Broken Skull Ranch. Never up there, just to make my guess this time. He's a real fat piece of shit. Never made it anywhere in the business. His name, check it out, Fredo. Fredo Majors Clemens, whatever you want to call this guy. Hey, how are you? I'm good, Steve. I'm good, yeah. I can't believe it's so cold right here in front of me, man. Oh, my God. Yeah, shut the fuck up, man. Sit down, sit down. Tell me, man, why did you get fired from Bathmore? Right, lunch meat, and I snapped out because I did shit on my buddy's floor, and they made fun of me all day, and I ran my hand through the slicer. I just couldn't take it anymore. That was it. Well, you're a sick son of a bitch. Let me tell you something. You're the most disgusting guy I've ever met. How'd you even get into pro wrestling? Right, or DJI, my buddies, they all, Jimmy Lyons. He got me in there, and he said, whatever good give it go and come out like the fat fucking retard that you are. And, act like you can't climb in the ring and fuck up all your moves and, have the worst entrance music possible. Maybe you'll have something. Yeah, you got such right. People hate you. They hate you. That's good, for trying to be a heel. But, nobody knows what the hell you are. It's just this fat blob that comes out in a singlet. You got this big damn M on it. What are you doing, man? I mean, where'd you get that attire? You look sick. You're like a big giant fucking roadside. Well, Steve, I don't know. I banged my sister. I'm so mad. I'm trying to go to these clubs. Stop drinking soda. It don't work. I love Burger King. I don't know, Steve. All right, that's all we got time for. It's Stone Cold Podcast. Get this fat piece of shit off my head, please. That's the bottom line. The Stone Cold. So that's pretty much how the Stone Cold Podcast we go with Fredo Majors.
Damn.
Well, damn. That is a pipe bomb to say the least. And guys, when we do these shows, this is stuff that we hear during the Pro Wrestling Week, and we include them in the show. AJ Hudson, they dropped a pipe bomb on him. Basically, what that was a mark or a fan or a fellow wrestler making fun of Fredo Majors, talking about his attire, his weight, his use in the ring. My mind and my take on that is, if he got somebody to do that and record that and think that much of him, the guy's over. What's your opinion?
No, I agree with you 100%. You know what I mean? He's getting reaction. He's getting a crowd reaction. And once we announced that Fredo was back in XBW, there was definitely some reaction to that. Whether it was positive or negative, there was definitely reaction. And people want to see Fredo either get his ass beat or win a belt. But, I'm going
to pipe bomb you real quick. What were some of the negatives that they were saying when they heard Fredo was coming back?
A lot of people are saying, oh, this guy's going to bring a lot of drama to the locker room. Oh, this guy's going to kill the company. But, I always started to think of the positive side. Again, the guy's trained pro. The guy's pretty good. And he's a good friend of mine. So why not, We had our differences in the past, but deep down inside, I love Fredo.
Yeah, and the great part about it is he's controversial, and controversial George ratings. I'm a ratings guy. Whether it's good heat or bad heat, he's drawing. That's all I care about. They care about, can the guy work? Can the guy get in the ring? His attire. If you pay that much attention to the guy, he did what he was supposed to do. Whether you liked it or not, it's just your opinion, and everybody has their opinion until they actually step in the squared circle and do what they have to do. That being said, I have a guy that did the same thing. My guy is DV1. This guy stepped in the squared circle, and I'm going to give you one. I'm going to use one of my pop moments for DV1, and one of the reasons why he should advance to the next round. DV1's character, okay? When you just say DV1 on a piece of paper, you are thinking, who the hell and what the hell are you? He explained it perfect. I'm not a face. I'm not a heel. I just do whatever I think is right. DV1 took moves every week, week in and week out, and his matches got the most over out of anybody's match, got the loudest reaction. That's why I think tonight that he should beat King Carson, because every single time DV1 came out, you knew he was something special. You knew that DV1 was going to get a loud reaction, and you knew that booking DV1, everybody would want to see that. I don't think everybody would want to see King Carson's match. I think everybody would want to see a DV1 match, whether he gets his ass kicked or whether he gets his ear chopped off. You're going to want to see what happens with DV1. Do you agree on he was more over than the King?
Now, I 100% disagree with you, but to give you credit, I see where you're coming from. See, Chris, you're the booker, and of course, you're in the back most of the time. And there was a lot of politics with King Carson. A lot of people didn't like him backstage. A lot of people are saying he was over just because of jealousy. And I'm not going to bring up no names, but you know who I'm talking about. There was a lot of jealousy in the back with King Carson. Just because people were out there killing themselves, and all King had to do was come out with his theme song, do a sidewalk slam, the King Carson punches and pedigree, and he was automatically more over than them people. But going back a little bit, backtracking a little bit, the reason why King Carson is the way he is, the reason why he connected with the fans is King Carson is your average South Philly Joe. You know what I mean? He wears the jeans, he goes out, he does that with his nose. You know, he's just someone that people can relate to. He's your typical guy who works a 9-to-5 job. He drinks beer and he kicks ass. You know what I mean? Well, there's nothing not to like about King Carson. And again, he was getting more over than certain people, and that's why I think you were influenced by the rest of the locker room, saying, you know, why is this guy getting a push and so on. That's why I think King Carson should definitely go over, and King Carson is a man. Again, his wrestling ability is not that good. I'll be the first one to admit that, but he's a brawler and he gets over. King Carson, all the way.
All right. Then we started the show with a positive. I'm going to start you with a negative then. King Carson, he didn't show up and put the work in. I hear it from the fans. I hear it from the workers. He did not put the work in. Do you think King, on his Brock Lesnar type schedule, is the reason that he was over? You think if people seen him every week, he wouldn't be special no more, like DV1. If people seen him every week, he wouldn't be special no more. If we seen Brock Lesnar every week, wouldn't be special. The Undertaker wouldn't be special. King, do you think that with King, or do you think King just didn't go to shows because of other reasons?
Well, the reason King had a lot of issues at home. King, you know what I mean? He had a lot of personal issues. He couldn't get out as much as us. So that was the main reason he couldn't make every show. And I mean, King put a good show no matter who he was wrestling. You know what I mean? He did out, and he always tried his best. You know what I mean? Even though it wasn't always great, he always tried his best. So I kind of agree with what you're saying, but at the same time, I mean, I think he gave it his all every show.
Do you agree? And this is another negative I'm going to throw on the guy. The guy could not work. Okay, as your world champion, you have to have the total package. In my mind, we were going to put the belt on King. Not we. A guy was going to put the belt on King, and this is a guy who loved the belt. Do you agree that King was not ready? Because I don't think he was ready. I don't think he would have filled them shoes. You're going from guys like Unknown, Mysterious J, Stan Styles. These are all viable champions that could work, cut promos, the whole nine, had gimmicks. King with the belt would have been a disaster. In my mind, do you agree?
I don't agree with that, because you see what you see. You would have, if you put the belt on King, every single match would have had to been a brawl. Every single match would have had to get going everywhere to get over. I mean, sure, he wouldn't have a grade A match with like Unknown or not like that, but it would definitely be entertaining. See, he could switch up Unknown's moveset, you know what I mean, to make it a brawl. So I think it would have been a good idea. I think we should have ran with King being world champion.
I'm going to flip side that question now. I'm going to ask it to myself, and I want you to comment on it as well. DV1, there was a point in time where rumors was going around that I was actually going to throw the belt on DV1 at a part of the season, and it'd be a 1-day thing, and he'd lose the fucking belt.
Hold on, can I cut you off real fast?
Sure.
I actually heard a rumor about this. Now that you brought that up, I heard a rumor that the same guy that wanted to drop the belt to King Carson brought up the idea of dropping the belt to DV1. Is that true or not true?
Here's where it comes. I'm going to explain the story so everybody knows the story. I was booking at the time, all right? And my idea was to put the belt on Mike, to get the belt on Mike, to get it away from Stan. And I just wanted Stan to do other stuff because I thought his character was over enough to have feuds without the title. Now, DV1 was gaining such a pop that I wanted to eventually put the belt on DV1, okay, as a swerve, to swerve everybody, to him lose it that same night and actually have a Legent triple threat match for the belt. That was my total game and plan. I didn't, and like, it's not like today. I was writing week to week. I wasn't writing month to month at the time. So it was just week to week writing. So when that idea came in my mind, I wanted to get the belt away from Mike, put it on a different member of Legion, whether it was me or Sniper, to get one of us over as well, and to break that faction up eventually, and then have the other odd person out feud with DV1. But I think DV1 winning the belt would have had a humongous pop. The crowd would have loved it. The people would have liked it. And this kid, you could put him anywhere on the card, and it just will make sense. I'm going to give you my second good reason. I put the guy as a referee inside a tag team match with Salt and Pepper, okay? I told the guy specific information on what to do. He actually vouched and said, I wanted to do something. I said, cool. Why don't you go do it during their match, but make their match end normally after you do it. So, in the middle of the Salt and Pepper match, DV1's the referee. This is the total ending. This is a shoot. 1, 2. I can't do it. I can't do it. And all 4 competitors during that match looked at DV1 like, what the fuck are you doing? Right? DV1, eventually they get to the end. DV1 counts to 3. We get in the back. And AJ Hudson goes up to him, because AJ Hudson's part of Salt and Pepper. He goes, why did you do that? You dumb fuck. This is a real match. We're running live. Why did you do that? Well, it's something I always wanted to do. Now, mind you, he told me beforehand that he was going to do it. I said, just make sure their match ends normal, though. Like, don't fuck their match. Make sure their match ends normal. And I don't know if anybody knows that or not, but I thought it would be great because I just wanted to see the kid do something funny every week. So I thought that would just be fucking great for that week. You know what I mean? And it turned out to be legendary. It turned out to be great. And everyone was confused by it at the time, but it's funny looking back on it now. It's another reason why he got over. It's another reason why I agree with the DV1 direction made sense. You put King in that same predicament, them guys would have beat the shit out of King. King probably would have never been allowed back, and we probably never would have seen King. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that. It's actually a funny story. I never actually heard that story before. But the one thing I got to say bad about DV1 is he was very unprofessional. He attacked one of the superstars after one of the matches, and you definitely don't want that in the locker room.
Pipebomb, who was that?
It was AJ. It was actually Sky. He jumped on Sky. Not only Sky, he jumped on Craven's back too, I believe. But yeah, that's 2 superstars in one season that he got into altercations with.
I didn't know that. What you remember the altercation and what happened and how did it start?
With Craven. Craven gave him a leg drop and he forgot to kick out, I believe it was. And and the And you don't really want that in the locker room. You know what I mean? Say if you have him in a high-profile match. Say if you have him in the world title match, and he does that, and Craven wins the world belt. I mean, where do you go from there?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree that it can cause turmoil, and that definitely could be a reason to not have him on a live show. However, King, can you have King on a live show? Can you put King in any position, tell him to go out, do this, he will do it? I don't know. King listens to the crowd. Unknown used to get on his own brother, Mysterious G, for listening to the crowd. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. We're all screaming that because we want to see you do it again. But on paper, this is what we plan to do. King would just ride with his emotions more than the actual format on what's supposed to do. That's why I think DV1 would be a better fit to move forward. DV1, I believe, in my mind, do what he's supposed to do. Okay, he's very, very unique. And I think DV1's unique is more over than King's unique. And reason being, I'm going to give you one. Okay, this is why I'm going to pick this guy to move on to the next round. DV1, we put him in a hardcore match with you, and you have plenty with King. Plenty. All 5-star hardcore matches for hardcore marks because the guy got busted open. The blood was leaking everywhere, and that's the point that we wanted to see during a hardcore match. DV1 made his comeback on the epic I Was commentary this time. This guy's ear just got ripped off. King Carson would cry. King Carson would quit. DV1's never quit, never cried. That's why that's a valuable and huge point on why he should move to the next round. Please tell me why King should move on, and why do you think that King is better in that position? Because DV1 never cried, never quit a match, and finished it.
So King Carson, the reason why King Carson, and this is the legitimate reason alone that he should advance. Now again, I said Mysterious G is the heart and soul of the company, but King Carson was in XBW since day one. King Carson is the only active wrestler in XBW that wrestled in every single season we ran and never wrestled anywhere else. He never left XBW for any other company, and he always bled black and red for XBW. Right there and then, you know what I mean? King Carson had my vote.
Well, here's the thing. Your point is King never left the company. And I'm going to pipe bomb you real quick. Is he the only guy on the top of your head that never, ever left to go to a different company? And is he the only guy to wrestle on every season of XBW?
Yes, that's 100% a shoot right there. Every season he wrestled at least one match, and he never wrestled for any other company, to my knowledge. Period.
Here's what I gotta say about that. So Carson has the more reliable, more home ground standards than DV1 on that aspect. I do agree with that. However, DV1 was more a character over guy. And this is how I'm going to get into that. And this is what I mean by this. King's character was very strong based on his fan pop. If he didn't have a pop from the crowd, I don't think King would even be where he's at now or talked about now. I'd love King Carson outside of the ring. This is just a shoot. DV1, you could put him on the season now, you could put him on the season then. DV1 will get more over with the fans than King. Do you agree or disagree on that, or do you think they're the same?
I think they're about the same. I think they're 100% about the same. You know what I mean? I think DB1 came out with Randy Orton's music, and King Carson, of course, came out with Triple H's music. So, I mean, both of these guys are actually the same. You know what I mean? It's just King was there longer. And I think that's how it really – if it really comes down to it, I think, you know, that's what it's all about. But hold on, Chris. Before we go any further, I want to ask you, how would you turn DB1 heel? Assuming
It's very simple. It's very simple. He was a heel.
Was he a heel?
People didn't know that. Yes, when DV1 did that, he was a heel, and it's the crazy part about DV1 being a heel. He was a heel that people liked. He was a heel that got over. DV1 never cut a face promo. DV1 always came at somebody's neck. I don't know if you've seen the epic promo at McDonald's. He came at Laura Cannon's neck in that promo. But people laughed. People popped off it. People jizzed in their pants. This guy was a heel the whole time. He's the heel that you love. He's the heel that can never get booed. He's the ultimate heel. But people like him so much that we made him a baby face guy. This guy was a legit heel that just people just liked him, so you couldn't really boot a guy. But your question, to answer your question, is how I would turn him heel. It's very simple, and being a heel, everybody knows, is more easy than being a baby face. So how do you turn a guy heel? Is when you have a guy that you really like, okay, you have to make him swerve that guy. So if you have a guy like King, Mysterious G, who's at the top of the totem pole, and DV1 takes that guy out and cuts one of his epic, crazy, stupid, idiotic promos, people will then boo this guy and give him X-Pac heat. And what I mean by X-Pac heat is they really hate this guy because they think that this guy is a jobber. He's not a real worker. This guy stinks in the ring. He doesn't come out to his own music. So all that stuff gains so much heat on this guy. I think by the time that's all said and done, how we cheer him is how we'll boo him by the time he does that. Can you say the same for King? How would you turn King heel, and would King get that reaction?
100. I actually don't think I can turn King heel, to be honest with you. I thought about this question all day today, and I was like, how can King turn heel? I mean, he's so over with the crowd. He's so over in the back. How can you turn King heel? The only way I could think of turning him heel at this point, I was like, and it wouldn't even work because half the people would still like him, is giving him the Donald Trump gimmick. He kind of reminds me of your average Donald Trump voter, King Carson. I would make him come out with the shirt, you know what I mean? And I mean, again, not everyone would hate him. Half the people would like him. He would still get cheered, and he would attack, the minority wrestlers and so on. Play the race card gimmick, right?
I agree. And it would be hard to turn King heel. But I'm going to get into our final questions on this tournament because we need a winner to advance. So my question is, like I asked last show, who had the overall better career?
Well,
and why?
Well, in my opinion, King Carson had the overall better career. He had many feuds with Sniper, many feuds with Kid Monster, and myself. He was He won the XBW Old and Civilized title a couple times. He won the XBW, mostly the hardcore belts. He wrestled unknown for an Iron Man belt. Came up short, but again, he was an XBW legend. That's why I think King Carson should take this one home.
And he's a legend because of what makes him special, what makes him different, what makes him more valuable to the company than DV1.
His pop alone is, you know what I mean? When you see King Carson, when you hear King Carson's song hits and you see King Carson come out with a stupid face, you automatically pop. His memorable matches he had with Sniper, his memorable matches he had with me and Kid Monster, his world famous pedigree, the many incidents he had in his hardcore matches, that alone gives King Carson the upper hand in this tournament.
And I have another question for you. You've been an owner for what, 13, 12, 14 years, somewhere in that bracket?
Yeah.
You've seen guys come and go. If you had a choice, and tell me why, and you just can pick one, who would you pick to be in the next season of XBW, and why would that be the better choice?
Between King Carson and DB1?
You're on the money.
Or King Carson, because DV1 could still sue me for that ear thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say King Carson again. Like I said, I'm a mark for him. When his song hits, I pop. You know what I mean? He comes out, he does that stupid face. You automatically relate to the kid, and he's just awesome talent. He's funny. He's controversial, just like you brought up. People in the back don't like him. The people in the seats love him. So why not King Carson? How about you?
Well, I'm gonna have to agree with you, but I'm gonna have to disagree with you as well. DV1 was a creation of yours and mine because we made this guy over by putting him in the predicaments as being the booker, and you by making him legendary by the ear actually getting sliced off during a match. Here's my question that probably will decide whether I'm going to vibe with King or DV1 to move on. Okay. If we had to put the belt on both of them guys at the right time, who would have succeeded better and why?
If we definitely King Carson. And here's why. King Carson could have had a solid match with like the Mysterious G. He could have had a solid match with Stan the Man Styles and even yourself. King Carson, I mean, again, it would be a brawl. You would have to take it all over the place, and it wouldn't be your standard Chris Conant match. It wouldn't be your standard Mysterious G or Unknown match, but it would be something special. It would be something different. And DV1, I mean, DV1, you would probably I bet you if you gave DV1 your Rolling Thunder, that would have been it. He wouldn't kick out.
I gotta agree. I gotta agree wholeheartedly with you on this one. King would have been more success, taking it the long run, running with the ball, making sure the company still was on top, making sure nobody looked at us like jokes. I think if we put the belt on DV1 from the outside looking on in, and this is true facts, I think people would have laughed at us, called us jokes, and said, "That's stupid. Why would you do that? You're only doing that to jizz in your pants. You're only doing that to make yourself pop for yourself." I think more if King did it, people was behind King. People like King, and King had a little bit better registry in the ring and actually knew what he was doing and actually can take matches long or take matches short. King had more experience. They get about the same crowd reaction. King maybe a little bit more, but DV1, when he does his crazy shit, gets a huge pop as well. That's what ties me between the two, and it's hard to make a decision on that aspect. But answering the question, DV1 as world champion is a wild card. He's unpredictable. You don't know if he's going to show up. Not only that, you don't know what's going to happen in the actual match. That's things we did when we were in grade school and freshmen and sophomores in high school. You know, King is probably one of the oldest out of the bunch besides Stan. King kind of understands that a little bit better, and King had more matches and was more established in that suit. So I think King actually would have been a better world champion going forward, and I gotta agree with you on that one. And I totally think King would be the better man. Now here's a question for you. Here's a wholehearted question for you. Mysterious G is waiting. He's waiting for one of these guys. He's expecting Kid Monster or King. He thought King was going to slide past Kid Monster, but now you got DV1, and you got DV1 and Mysterious G, or you got King Carson and Mysterious G. There's a lot of heat there, a lot of tension, a lot of turmoil. So here's my question for you. If this was real life booking, what match would get more over? Mysterious G versus King, Mysterious G versus DV1, and why?
Again, because there's so much heat and there's real life tension going on between Mysterious G and King, I'm going to have to go with Mysterious G and King. As you know, I'm not even going to elaborate on the story. You watched the Unknown podcast. There was some real tension going on in there. And, you know, Mysterious G was fuming from it. And I think all this together, I mean, they could put their differences aside. They could have a really good match going forward.
And I got to agree with you. And I do think that's the better choice. One, because DV1 was kind of, I think he was a flash in the pan, a guy who got over for a little bit like Damian Sandow, and then eventually died out, eventually make him a joke, and eventually gets fired. King was a guy who you kind of thought that of, but was hot in 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. Every year he was hot. So I actually got to agree with that. And I think King, honestly, if it wasn't for him not showing up every week, would have been a multiple-time world champion. Can you say the same about DV1?
No, you can't. And again, I know Gar's watching the series. He's watching this, and there's definitely I'm sure this is not the predicament he wanted. I'm sure he wanted King Carson out of this because King Carson's a hot topic right now, and I think that going forward, if King does win this round, I think this is the first time Mysterious G will be the underdog in a situation. Again, you brought up how he was a poster boy for XBW for the first few years, but in 2009 he left XBW and King stayed loyal to XBW. That's why I think Mysterious G's a little nervous and he knows King might go over on him. Your thoughts on that?
Well, here's my thoughts on that. King is a controversial guy in his own way. King made himself controversial because King is in gimmick 24/7. I don't know when the guy is Alfred. I don't know when the guy is King. I just know that he's this guy that's this wrestler guy all fucking day long. All day long I fucking see this guy. He's a fucking wrestler. He never, ever gets the fuck out of it. Even as DV1. DV1 believes that he's DV1. King really believes that he is King. So I think with the more proven guy is King, he's more proven than DV1. DV1 did it for 1 year. There's a lot of guys that do it for one season and get over, and it's very successful. Very successful. It's more vouched on how long in long time Jeopardy you did it for and was successful. This is one guy who was successful every friggin' year. That's and Mysterious J successful every friggin' year. So you put these guys in a clash, the clash of the champions, and these guys go head to head, pound for pound. I think Mysterious G may be the underdog in this competition, but his resume is strong. And if somehow King makes it past DV1 this round, who's a legit over guy for at least that one season, King and Mysterious G will be, and I don't want to say this word, I don't want to flip that coin, I don't want to turn it over, it may be a toss-up. And I'm not saying that off wrestling ability because Mysterious G's better. I'm not saying off gimmick or popularity. I'm not saying that off of long-time Jeopardy. I'm not saying that off of who was there, who had more titles, because Mysterious G would trash King in that aspect. I'm saying it in overall careers. Whose career was better? Was it the unanimous #1 pick for Hall of Famer Mysterious G, or was it the most over underdog in BY history in King Carson, the guy that you always wanted to see win the big one but never did? Can he win the big one against Mysterious G? We have to see. That being said, I'm going to get into our final questions on this before I drop a pipe bomb. Okay. Crystal ball. I want you to take your crystal ball out. Okay. DV1, King Carson, Mysterious G. Who would you take if I said, Justin, you can have Mysterious G or you can have King Carson and DV1? Who would you take in this predicament? Because it's going to be huge on my decision tonight. And it's going to be huge on my decision next week when we see who's the winner. Who would you take? Would you take the two people or would you take the one?
So tough fight for me and Chris. A real tough spot. But I'm gonna have to go with Mysterious G on this one, heart and soul of the company.
And I'm at debate the difference because I'm a booker, and the booker just wants to see guys who get over. Mysterious G, you get over, but I got two guys that got over, so I got to take the two guys who got over. DV1, who had a fucking hell of a run in the 1 year, and King, who gets over every year. King, who's controversial inside, outside of the ring. King, who gets a pop every time. King had a guy who never wanted to lose the world title, always wanted to put the belt on him, created a whole company just so he could win the fucking belt. And that guy said, I want to lose the belt to King. That's a legit argument right there that this guy who fucking bled for his company, fucking ripped everybody in the shreds, was hours on the phone with everybody, pissed off at everybody, used to curse people out for a fucking fake title that we're booking fake matches in. He went to drop it to King. That's a legit argument that King might beat Mysterious G.
Great.
So,
I got to give you a hands up on that. Great.
What I got to say is, the King of Kings, the cerebral assassin, he's going to be making his return. And not only is he going to be making his return when we actually start live, but my pick, you're probably going to pick with me, to go to the next round, and this was a landslide now that I thought about it, is the King. You agree?
I agree with you 100%. King Carson all the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to school you in, because right now the vote is 2-0. It's 2 King, 0 DV1, 24 hours like we did it before.
Chris,
pick your good.
There's a chat. The polls in the chat room right now in the XBW Philadelphia group. If you guys want to log on and vote for these guys, search XBW Philadelphia. It's the XBW Philadelphia group. The poll is up right now. You have 24 hours to vote. And continue, Chris.
Oh, and that's great. And thinking of great, because I thought DV1 was great in his own way. I thought King was great in his own way. And whoever goes on the Mysterious G will be great. And not only will they be great, I think they'll be better if they do ddpyoga.com/wrestling inc, brought to you by the likes of John Cena, AJ Styles, and Sami Zayn. You can get a free, and ladies and gentlemen, I said free, 3-month subscription on the Max Pack. Yes, we get sponsored by Wrestling Inc. We get paid for it. That's why we plug this in. However, if you haven't tried this out, try it out. There's a reason we plug this in. This is great. Diamond Dallas Page Yoga changed the life of Scott Hall, changed the life of Jake the Snake Roberts, which my co-hosts want to go see live. And ladies and gentlemen, if you couldn't reach it live, you can see it on Vudu, Google, Amazon.com. It's called The Resurrection of Jake the Snake Roberts. It is awesome. It is great. Thinking about great, this tournament is great. We're just in round 1, part 2. DV10, King Carson 2. The poll is up. Vote 24 hours from now. The poll will be down. Let us know who's facing Mysterious G. But getting back to action, we're on Pipebomb.
Now I got a pipe bomb for you, Chris.
All right.
First pipe bomb of the night. Back in XBW 2000.
Second Pipebomb, but go ahead.
My first pipe bomb.
There you go.
Back in 2006, there was a superstar by the name of SK9. I think his real name's Tyreek. As soon as he heard we signed you to XBW, he automatically resigned. Now, was there heat behind the situation?
Ladies and gentlemen, I used to drink over Mysterious G's house, and Mysterious G and Unknown, they both lived in the same house. They're twin brothers. Shoot, this is a true story. Sniper was there for most of it. We used to make grilled cheeses with mayonnaise because there was no butter at the time. Sniper put me to this. I said, this is fucking nasty. I'm not trying it. This fucking sucks. I want butter. Okay. Meanwhile, I had my sidekick, my lime green sidekick, and I'm on AIM, I'm on AIM. chatting with a chick named Kayla. Soho, she lives across the street from Mysterious Jen. Whoop-de-doo there. So, as a drinker and somebody who drinks, and there's a chick with friends across the street, the friends are going to go there, chill, have a great time. This is like 8 years ago. Anyways, one of the professional wrestlers that wrestled for our company, SK9, went out with this girl at the time. But she was a Conant mark, okay? And a Conant mark, Conant popped for her. Conant went over the house. We all chilled. SK9 hates me. Shoot. More to the story. That's your pipe bomb.
Thanks for elaborating on the story, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, it's with beer, cigs, that's what they do to you, man. They just make you into a madman that you think is great at the time, but might not be so great for the rest of your history, or might not be great for the rest of your life. So pipe bombs, we always drop pipe bombs, and we always relate them to real situations. And I'm doing this pipe bomb on the iPad right now, okay? And the reason why I'm stating what I'm doing it on, because it relates to a situation that we're going to get into live tonight. There was a situation on Facebook that happened earlier in the week. I'm not going to state the guy's name because he's a personal friend of mine. However, good guys make bad decisions. And whether this guy did it or didn't do it, there's a situation where his baby mom said that he sold his girlfriend's iPad. His girlfriend, they have a kid together. His ex-girlfriend, his baby mom, he sold their daughter's iPad for money. And everybody knows if somebody does that, it's for drugs. And drugs in South Philly are out there. It's not a good thing. People like to do them because you feel great on them. But the outcome of it is you get addicted to them, and you don't know that you're getting addicted to them at the time. So this guy knew what he was stepping in, just didn't know how far deep he was stepping in. And whether this story is true, whether the story is not true, just to relate a little story about drugs in South Philly, it turned a guy that I was friends with since 3 years old, went to pre-K kindergarten together. It landed him 1 to 3 years in jail today. And this same guy, I don't want him making the same mistakes. So if he's out there listening to this podcast, I just want him to say, take a step back, look at yourself from the outside in, and this shit's fun. This shit's fucking awesome. It's cool. It's whatever. But the shit's addicting. You got to chill off it, and you got to relax. And I just want you to just take 1 step back and just move 2 steps forward, because that'll help you out in the long run. That's what I got to say about that pipe bomb right there.
Now, like you said, this guy was your close friend. I mean, there's always help out there. If you guys ever feel the need there's always someone there to help you out, whether it's friends, family, there's professional people out there who will do this all for free. You know what I mean? There's a wet center in South Philadelphia who will take out the time. Again, this is all free services provided by the government. But there's always help for you, right, Chris? And thanks for sharing your story. Great story. Yeah. And, I hope your friend gets help.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? It's something that becomes out of your control after a while, and you just kind of gotta roll with the punches, because you don't want to feel that feeling that you feel when you don't have it, because you're so used to that feeling. So you don't want that to happen. But anyways, moving on with the show. All right, everybody wants to hear the pipe bomb that we're going to let out tonight. All right. Pipe bomb of the night. AJ Hudson had a promo, had a guy shoot a video on him, and they said that basically his pro wrestling career sucks. It's horrible. We used to work with this guy. We're both friends with him. I like him. I think he's a funny guy. I can't wait to do my shoot with him. It's going to be fucking awesome. We're going to fucking ratings. We're going to top the fucking draft we did. And we're going to beat the views in that. I think it's going to be fucking great. However, AJ Hudson, as a total pipe bomb, do you agree with that guy, or do you not agree with that guy, and why? And as a total shoot, like I said, we're friends with him.
Yeah,
we're cool with him. as a total shoot. Do you agree with what he said?
I mean, there's a lot of negative things about AJ I could say, but I definitely don't agree with what the guy said. I mean, AJ, I respect him. I never told him this, but I respect him for following his dream. He did. He did stuff. He did. You know, he actually went out of his way to train for CZW, one of the hardest wrestling schools to train for. And I mean, he's doing it. You know, he hit the big time, and he's traveling right now. He's wrestling all over PA. So I don't agree with that guy. I think his career just started, and it's elevating by the month. I mean, again, we could go back and shoot on AJ how he always wants to have his stuff his way. But again, the stuff the guy said was not AJ, in my opinion. What's your take on this?
Well, if it wasn't AJ, why did he say it? You know, it basically what he said was he got into the business because he trained for 3 years and DJ Hyde had no use, no other choice but to put him on the fucking card. Do you agree with that? If you had a guy, you're DJ Hyde, and you have a guy that's been in your dojo for 3 years, what the fuck do you do with him at that point? That's what I got out the story.
Well, I don't agree with that because he was never on the CZW card.
He was. He worked Maven Bentley shows. That's CZW still. It's CZW affiliated. And he got beat up by Sabian as the security guard. Now, here's a total shoot. If I was AJ, my gimmick would be the security guard guy. I would come out with the security guard shirt, CZW on the back for the time being. When I travel up, other companies would just say security. But that would be my gimmick. I'm the security for professional wrestling, for independent wrestling. He should have vibed off that gimmick because this is how you can get this gimmick over. I'm a booker. Sabian beats the guy up because he lost a match. He's mad. He beats security up. Cool. He feuds with Sabian. He's securities for ROH. Jay Lethal loses the match. He loses the title. The other two guys feud somewhere else. Jay Lethal beats the security guy up for ROH. That guy gets over. You do that through every company. You have him sit outside most of the show, and you have him get his ass kicked or even beat somebody up during a match, and he's the security guy. That gimmick gets over. Not only does it get over in the indies, Vince, Triple H will look at that gimmick and say, yo, we plugged this guy in as security in WWE. We have Dolph Ziggler get mad and beat this guy up. He's plugged in. He's signed. He's NXT now. That gimmick would have got him to WWE. Do you agree with my statement?
I agree. I mean, I think it would definitely get over, you know, especially if he was a CZW security guy. You know what I mean? Everyone, there's always CZW marks out there. So I do see your point. That's why you're the booker. You know what I mean? You come up with these great ideas and put him out there. Awesome idea. He should have definitely ran with it. And again, the one thing I do agree with it, AJ did come out with the chicken Alfredo gimmick, and the guy did shoot on it. And
what was it, Jess? I didn't hear that. What was it?
He came out with the chicken Alfredo. His gimmick was I don't exactly know what the gimmick was, but he came out with the name Chicken Alfredo. I think it was like a big chicken or something like that. That was
he did a lot of unique things, and I think as a total pipe bomb, as a total shoot, I think his only mistake was not being that security gimmick. That is just my take. Do you think his career now or the security gimmick would have got more over?
Definitely the security gimmick. I mean, what's his gimmick now?
I mean, it's what it is it's an independent guy that trained for CZW, and I'm better than you because I went through the CZW dojo, and this is who I am now, and I can fuck you up because of it. My trainer's Drew Gulak, who's on WWE TV, Dean Ambrose, and now I'm better than you because these guys one's the world champion and one headlining one of the hottest events in WWE history right now. So yeah, I do agree that gimmick can get over if he plays off what I said. Now, that being mine, I'm no fucking guru on this whole situation, but I do take part in trying to make somebody better and thinking of making people better. And just, I want to ask you live. On our next tournament matches, we have the Beast versus Craven. We have the Greatness versus Sniper. And this is a total shoot. This isn't on the format. I don't have a paper in front of me. Do you want to make this a 4-way match where we talk about all 4 competitors in 2 events? Or do you want to make it head-on-head, Greatness versus Sniper, and Craven versus the Beast?
Let's do let's mix it up. Let's do the four-way elimination. Well, it's not elimination, but yeah, the 4-way where 2 people advance.
So we got it there. We're going to do the fatal 4-way, and 2 people is going to advance. Them 2 people are going to fight each other. But thinking of fighters, guys, this is a pipe bomb show. And to twist the bucket up, to spill the water, to drop the milk on the floor, there's a problem in aisle 9. There was a problem with a guy in XBW. Okay. And the moral of this story is drugs in general. Okay. There's a guy in a career that I've never met this guy. But this guy was a viable character in XBW. We lost this guy to drugs. And if I could just help anybody out to stop them from doing it, please do it. The wrestler, just, you may know him. You actually was the owner of the company. Elaborate who it was, how he died, and let's do a 10-second or 10 bell, however you want to do it. Salute to this guy, and we'll end the show.
So, yeah, the guy on 2009, a very serious topic. On 2009, we had a guy named Sinner who was a very nice guy. Actually, my memories of him, he main evented a couple shows. He was a top-notch guy. I remember he left. When he left XBW, he actually went to Florida to train for FCW. The last thing I remember, he thanked me for his time in XBW. He thanked me for putting him on the card, even though Ozzy put him in the main event. Like, he still thanked me, which was really nice of him, And he left for Florida, and turns out he overdosed and passed away. So very tragic.
What we're going to do before we end the show, we're going to do this right now. I just want everybody to relate on their real life and what we do and how we put our bodies on the line for fake wrestling because we love it. I want everybody just to think for this 10 seconds while we do a 10 seconds memorial for Sinner right now. I want everybody just to think and relate on their real life. Anything that's going on that's bothering you, anything that you want to talk to somebody about. For this next 10 seconds, let's give it to Sinner, and I'm going to go into my closing moments on Pipebomb. Let's give the 10 seconds right now. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, we kick our own asses, put our own asses on the line for this business right here. Okay, and that's a guy who clearly did it. I wasn't in the company with him, but his matches were sure kick asses. What's going to be a kick ass moment is right now we have King Carson with 2 votes to 0. And here's the thing. If I can, I would love to get Mysterious G on here. I would love to get King Carson on here. And I would love to have me and you on here and do a battle to see who advances to the next round. Let me know in the chat. Let me know through message, IM, Texas, whatever you want to fucking do. Mysterious G, do you accept coming on here? King Carson, do you accept coming on here to have this battle that everybody wants to see, and we see who really advances to the next round? Not only that, we got Chris Sniper. He's going up against the Greatness, reigning Money in the Bank winner. We have the Craven going up against the Beast, AKF legends in their own mind. The Knockout Punch versus the Tombstone. We are going to ask these guys, are you doing the charismatic gimmick? We're going to get live. All this is coming up in the future. Please stay tuned. Just, you got something for me? Anything? And what's your comments on what I just said?
Yeah, next week, like we said, we're going to do a 4-way where 2 guys are going to advance. So it's going to be an interesting 4-way. And I love the idea. We invite King Carson. We invite Mysterious G on the show. What better way to explain their own careers than themselves? You know what I mean? have King Carson and Mysterio G go at it, and we're going to pick one winner. Only one man can advance. That is if King Carson advances the DV1. But as of right now, there's 3 votes. There's 3 votes for King Carson, DV1 0.
So we got third vote. Sorry, it's 3-0, 3-1 or 3-0, 3-1.
3-0.
So it's 3-0 right now. King Carson's in the lead to go against Mysterious G. If DV1, the underdog, makes his comeback, Mysterious G is going to have a hard plate. Just right now, if you just had to pick a winner, King Carson's in the lead. Is this your man to go all the way? Or who's your guy to go all the way? And who do you think is going to win the next round?
Oh, hands down, I have to say King Carson. Again, he's been there for every single season. King Carson is a man, He's taking this one home.
And I just got to ask you one question. Why do you think he would beat Mysterious G?
Like I said, King is more over. The last thing I remember, 2009 season, King was over as fuck. As for Mysterious G, 2007 season, he was kind of stale. Let's be honest here. There was no direction that he was heading. So my last memory of Mysterious G is a stale one. As for
here's the thing. Mysterious G blames it on the booking. Mysterious G claims that the booking dropped the ball on his career and kind of left them lost in the shuffle. We're going to get into all that. And I want Mysterious G's opinions during that too as well. And we kind of discussed a little bit on what happened during that period. If that's the case, King seems like more legitimate threat maybe to beat this guy. I don't know. He's a first-time XBW Hall of Famer. Who the fuck knows? There's only one way to find out, and that's tuning in to Pipebomb next Monday. Start time will be released soon, and we are going to have a winner between these 2 guys, whether it's DV1 Mysterious G, King Carson Mysterious G. We're going to have a winner, and we're going to have a winner advance. And ladies and gentlemen, I never said this yet, and this is a shoot. For the winner of this tournament, there's something very special that the winner is going to have and get, and it's going to make a legit big-time move in the next coming XBW season. That's what I got to say about that. This is brought to you by ddpyoga.com/wrestling. This is brought to you by XBW Off the Air. This is Pipebomb. I'm your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler. I'm Chris Conant, the legendary Sick Mexican. We're signing out of here. We'll see you soon.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Till next time.